Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Well, this week I've been talking a lot on depth in paintings, and I've done a few little tutorials already on that. So what I thought I'd do is just take just a small piece of paper. Sometimes I just half it because I don't want to use the whole sheet of paper just for a demonstration. So we're going to be working up here on this half piece of paper, and what I'm going to do, I have also what I do is I use these little, whatever you want to call them, for the little bits of acrylic paints that I use. I use some yellow acrylic paints, some whites, and I use a Indian yellow, and sometimes some others. But today I think that's about all I'm going to grab. And so I'm just going to take my flat brush here. So I've got this flat brush. And we're just going to, what I want to show you is, making a background, a very washy background. Very, very washy. And those are going to be my, well, first of all, I'm going to get it wet here. This time I'm working wet on wet. All right, and I'm going to take some blue. I don't want it to be too dark. I want it to be very, quite faint, actually. So I'm just going to, kind of go back and forth here and just put in a little sky, very faint sky. Even pull some out at the bottom here, and, pull some out by taking the paint off my brush in the water, drying it, and then coming in here and, going like this with our brush, squiggling it around just to make some clouds. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of the my really light green, and I'm going to go like this with the side of my, this is very beginner friendly, folks. I'm not doing a painting here. I'm demonstrating something. I want my background to be very watery because I want it to look very much in the background. So there's a lighter green that I'm going to put a little bit of darker green, and I'm just squiggling my brush on its side back and forth. And do you see how this is sort of becoming like a indication that there are trees, but that there are some behind some in front of the others. I let the mark be a little darker than that, like that. So you could, so we're going to get an even darker green here. You can make it, or you can just have it like a very nice dark green as a pearline green. I love that color. Okay, so this is pretty much, well, wait a minute. I'm going to do one more row. Okay, so we're going to go one more row with, even darker. So this looks even a little bit more into the front. Okay, so you've got some lighter ones. If you can sort of look into this, right, into it, you'll see that the very back has some light yellowy, light green trees. They're indicating some highlighted trees. And then in front of that, we have another lighter layer, but with a little more paint, little less water. And then we do it again with, less paint and, more paint and less water again, like I did here. And then I'm going to go one more time. Just a little different green. I put some blue into my green. And that gives me just a little, again, I'm just shaking my wrist back and forth to get this, this indication that there are trees there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here at the bottom, and I want to make a dark area. I'll just have some brown again, remember, this is not a painting. It's just an exercise. Okay. I'm going to take some of this brown and some of this sepia. And I'm just going to, indicate the ground here like this. Push it up into my trees a little bit to give it that indication of going backwards a little bit. Okay. So, and then we'll just take some out, put some in, just kind of leave it just like that. So simple. Simple, 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 because this is just an exercise. I'm going to switch brushes now. I have washed it off. And I am going to use, because I love doing trees with fan brushes. I don't know why, I just always have. So I'm going to I'm going to let this dry a little. You can do it several different ways. You can use a hair dryer and dry it, or if you just give it a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, have a couple sips of coffee. I'm going to have a couple sips here and reiterate what I'm doing in case you just came in and you have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And while we're waiting, I'm going to take some water, and I'm going to put some water into my paints because I forgot to spray them when we started. So all you'd really need to do is grab, some sort of brush, get some water, and just sort of shake it into, I don't want to mix it all in right now because I'm trying to do something else. But I'm just taking some water on my brush, shaking it into my colors for now. Usually I spray them, and the spray bottle's not with me either, so I'm doing it this way just this time for right now. I hope you're having a really wonderful day where you are. It just feels so, so amazingly wonderful that spring is finally here. I mean, it's almost 70 today, so it's, I'm not looking forward to the hot summer. I'm not a hot summer person, but I do love the spring. Absolutely love the spring. And right now, it's absolutely gorgeous. It just seems like it took so long to get here, but now it's here. And so, okay, I think we've got enough water into some colors here. And I think this is dry enough. We're going to find out. So I'm not going to put much of any, I'm going to wet my brush a little bit. I'm going to wipe a lot of it off. And then I'm going to what I want to do is, just for this example, I want to put 3 trees. I'm thinking so much of one of my daughter's homes. My daughter's home right now, where they have up in the background, the house is here, and then, way up on the hill and over on the hill are these beautiful, a row of like 6 or 8 beautiful pine trees. They're just gorgeous. But that's what just came to my mind right now. So I'm going to go into some green with some of the darker sepia because I want a dark, dark green right now. I really do want a dark one. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to come right about here. I like making trees of all kinds with fan brushes. They just look so, like real. It puts a real touch to them. So there's already, you can see how the rest of the forest looks like it's in the background. And this tree is jumping right out at you, right? Well, this is the whole point of this exercise. So we're going to get an even darker one. And I'm going to come over here. And you can use whatever colors you want. I've just got some sepia and some green, but I'm actually going to put some blue in there because I love those blue spruces or whatever you call them. A little bit more green. And I want that one to come forward. Oops, we got a little globbiness. We'll make it bigger. Okay. Okay, so that one not only is larger, because as you come forward, everything's going to look bigger. It's going to look clearer. The colors are going to be poignant. They're going to really stick out for you. Okay, so now I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take this again, and I'm going to lighten this color up. I'm going to get a lighter green, and I'm going to come over here. And with quite a bit of water on here, I I put, you know, I have water on it. I'm in front of these first ones that I did, but see, I've still got a little bit darker so you can, but it's still lighter than these and is back further. So that one looks more in the background. Now, another thing that I like to do is I'm going to take, I can take either a round brush or a flat brush, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to get like a brown or a sepia, you know, color type thing. Put those two together. A little bit of sepia. I don't want this to be, these to be, and it's still a little bit dark. And that's, I mean, a little bit, if I could just talk today, a little bit wet. So I'm going to take some of the tip of my brush and I'm going to go like this. Some of them are going to come down here. Some of them are going to, and I'm actually just going to swish my brush. Some of them are going to be darker. Some of them are going to be lighter. And what is that saying to you? That there's some in the background? Yes. And that there's some in the foreground. Exactly. Because we're talking about depth here. And I'm using a forest because I happen to love forests anyways. I've always loved painting landscapes, even when I did acrylics. Now, what we can do, okay, so we've established some layering here and we've established some depth. We started out with, you know, the yellowy background and the yellowy and then yellowy green. And then we came forward with a lighter green. And then we came forward with some darker green. And as I'm coming forward, excuse me, I dropped my drink. And as we're coming forward, we're also darkening the colors. In the background, it's a wet, washy, light-colored business. As we come forward, everything darkens and gets a bit more clarified. So actually what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take that real light color into some of these lines. I'm going to, I gotta make enough of it so you can see it. I'm going to like just use my fan brush and just indicate, barely seeing it, right? You really can't tell. It's just indicating that there are actual trees happening back here. Now see, we've already changed the whole thing quite a lot. Now, now that I've done this, and of course also, although we're just not, that's not what I'm focusing on today, but we can highlight things as well. Can do that with everything. We can sort of, you know, we can just sort of do that. We can make those highlights if we want to add to it, but this isn't a painting. But we can do that. Okay, and so I'm going to not use, well, although I love using a fan brush. This is one of my littlest ones. I guess I will. So I'm going to take one of the, although I'm going to make another, this one right here, want to make darker, and this one here, and this one here. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm bringing forward some of these trees. And don't make them, they're kind of just vertical, but I did try to make them kind of wiggly. I meant to say as I was doing it and to show you, wiggle your trees. Most trees are not all telephone poles, right? And then I'm going to go in with the green again. Maybe pick a little different green this time. And it's in the front, right? It's right here. It's a little forward, more forward than these. And I'm going to, once again, with my trusty little fan brush here. I'm feeling kind of silly today, folks, so hope you don't mind. And we're just going to back and forth here and come down a little bit forward in the front. Add a little darker color here just to give some different green colors. I've got quite a few different green colors on my palette here. And we just brought that one the closest. Now, it doesn't have to be the darkest. It depends on what kind of, tree, which kind it is. So let's just put some, let's do this. Let's get some, I've got a bunch of colors I'm mixing on my palette here. And that's another thing. I always like to add that in. I love to mix colors on my palette. A lot of times my blends of colors and so forth literally just come from what's on my palette, what I've been doing on my palette. And I have so many people that ask me, I love those color blends. How did you get those color blends? Well, that's how. I really don't sit here and, there we go. We're putting a highlights on some things. I'm not sitting here blending up tons, although I've done that in exercises, but I'm just saying so many different blends of colors come from my palette. So I'm darkening one side there. Okay, so already we have, we're coming forward. If you're watching it, you can maybe you can feel that we're we're coming forward with our trees. Now I'm going to make one. And another thing I was going to say is I also, as I come forward, I want to have less water because I want it to be more defined. If you think about it, if you're looking at something that's standing right in front of you, you're certainly going to see a lot more definition to it than something that is way off in the distance. Mountains are a great example of that, right? So it's just a good way to think about it. So we've got, see that? That cute little, lovely little tree with character is right in the very front of the whole thing. If somebody said, well, which one is closer? Well, which one would you say is closer? So right. So here we are. We've come this far, and we look like we've got a forest here, right? I mean, to me it does. It surely does to me. It looks like, we've got a little forest going on. I'm going to take some, I added some blue, and I want to come in here, and I just want to do this. Because I'd like to show that, maybe there's this distinct little blue spruce back there. I think they're the most beautiful trees. So we're going to do it very lightly, very little bit of definition, just the fact that it's there. So I hope you're getting the idea of this and how this all, how it all plays out, on a painting. Wouldn't matter what it was, if it was a house or if it was everything goes small, or if you look at actually, I don't know if I could do that. Let's see if I could. I think I could actually demonstrate this. Okay, let's pretend we have, actually this is perfect right here. You see, my brush. You see how this is kind of, it kind of made a little, what I did sort of opened up a little space right here. I'm going to take some paint out here. I'm going to take some, already I think you might be able to see where I'm going with this, okay? So we'll pretend that what we've got happening is a little, take some paint out. You can even use your, there we go. What does that show you? It looks like your mind kind of says, oh, there's a path that goes out back there. So what we're going to do is this little tree right here, just kind of do it again on that one. But with less, I don't want definition because this one was quite, but then we can take this one here. Oh, I'm sorry, just whacked the camera. Sometimes I am the world's biggest klutz. So we've got this one here that we wanted to really pop out in the front. So let's keep popping this one out into the front. And then I've just sort of indicated this. And as I can get the right brush here. Okay. So I'm going to take I'll make like a sandy color, I guess, of some sort. Like a, you know, like a little path thing. As it goes off into the distance, it's lighter and it's narrower. You see that? It's going to look much broader here, but as it goes back here, we don't know where it's going. And that's what we're trying to indicate, is that we don't know where that, it's going somewhere out there. It's right, it's, how can I put that? I think you know what I'm saying. So I indicated a path by opening up something and making it smaller as it goes out there, giving depth. So that could be going, you know, way out into that forest that we first started with the yellow trees and the light green, right? So I can see quite a lot of depth. I hope you can. This can be done with all kinds of things. Well, I did have some more water in there, but okay. So let's do birds. Let's grab a brush that is very small, very tiny point. I mean, you can use a big one, but just we'll do a small one. Here's a round, small round one. And I'm going to go into some paint. And for the bird that's way up here, right, that is so far in the distance up there, we can barely make that one out. The one that's flying here is much, you can definitely tell it's a bird. You know it's a bird. Up there, well, I would imagine it's a bird, right? And I want it the color lighter, okay? So I can put some like this, and they're lighter. But as soon as I bring them forward, as soon as I bring them here, how do I want it? It's right in front of me. So it's right here. I mean, you know, it's almost over our heads, right? If we were standing in the forest. So you see, you can do it with objects such as that. I was trying to think of what else I could put on. I mean, there's 1,000 things I can do with this, but I mean, for this little example, I was just trying to, I'm going to lighten up this path a little. I don't know if that lightened it up, but anyway, I did a little something. And I just wanted to demonstrate that. And then it got larger as it came forward, see? And skinnier as it goes out away from us into the distance, creating depth. There is a couple of other things I can do here. So I'm going to take a fairly small flat brush. No, I'm actually going to use my fan brush just because they make such awesome trees. Okay, and I'm going to make a dark tree. I'm going to get some brown, some sepia. Whoops, that's a little too much sepia. Well, that's all right. We're going to use it anyway. And I'm going to have, you know, as I said in one of my other tutorials, I often think of Bob Ross when I do something like this, because he would get, you know, like almost his painting almost finished, and then he'd say, oh, I see a tree, you know, right? So I see a tree, and we are going to just dab the brush just like this. Not too much water. The paper's dry. And we're going to have in place this tree, which is going to be pretty dark and striking because it's right here, right in the front. The closest thing to us, right? And that just pushed all the rest of that stuff back. Now you could use that for the branches, but I like using the rigger brush and small brushes for branches, although I've used big ones for branches. So, and then I'm just going to take my rigger brush, which works so well for branches, and my branches are also going to be coming right over, right? They're also going to indicate that this is the most forward thing on this painting right now. And it's right in front of everything else. And if we want, of course, we can, if we were doing an actual painting, of course, come in here, grab some white or whatever color you want to grab. And, you know, highlight this tree. I love the way fan brushes sort of work with trees, for trees, most trees. So do you see that? Now we have the rest of most everything else pushed back. And this tree right here is the most prominent, the darkest. I'm going to make it even a little more darker on this side here. I'm going to add more of the dark color because I want you to definitely see. There's a little too much water. I want you to definitely see, there we go. I definitely see how this one is, this tree has just jumped forward in the painting. He's number one in the painting. So I don't like my videos to go too long, so I hope this has kind of helped you in the journey of watercoloring and learning about depth. I can do one other thing to kind of indicate something. I'm going to just put, for instance, right here, along here, just pretending, oops, I got a little too much on my brush there, just pretending that there's a fence, and I meant to make that a lot smaller, but again, we are going to be much smaller here. And then as we come forward, right, we get larger and larger, indicating depth. This fence is going somewhere, just like the path, going somewhere out there, who knows where, right? So there, that's pretty much what I wanted to do for today. Like I said, I hope it's helped you a little bit in the struggle for learning watercolor. My whole purpose of my channel I may be doing some acrylic as well, but the whole purpose of my channel, period, is to be beginner friendly and very helpful. I don't want my videos to go long. I like to explain what I'm doing, explain it slowly, go slowly, and kind of as I'm talking, I'm going to add a couple things that I see that I could have done to sort of to help you to learn in a very, you know, helpful, slow, beginner-friendly type of mannerism. So, well, that one's got a leg. But so we just brought that one way forward, and this one's way forward. We don't need to do foliage and stuff. I think you get the idea. The whole idea was, you know, it and is for depth. And we can even, you know, define these a little darker as they come forward as well. If you want, you don't have to, but as they go out, they're going to get a little bit less visible, right? So we could even, like, take some of the color out. Oh, I just kind of messed that up a little bit. Oh, I do this often. I'll think of something else, and it's like I should have just left it alone. But anyway, there's the idea. And check out my other tutorials, folks. There's a whole lot of helpful information in all of my videos. Drop a comment. Please like and subscribe. And bye for now.